Will Rodriguez Kennedy, thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
So you are 31, you're the youngest chair of the County Democratic Party ever. You are a veteran, you were discharged under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and you were also homeless for a while. You lived out of your car. How is all of that lived experience going to inform how you approach this position?
Well, my lived experience has in many ways shaped my political views. They've evolved over the years. There was a point when I was a little bit more, or a lot more conservative than I am now. But it's important because it guides my activism comes from a social justice standpoint, and that has led me to the Democratic Party, and so it allows me to engage on issues that previous chairs may not have engaged on because I have lived experience with those issues, particularly on homelessness and housing.
I know you've got your sights set on a Democratic majority on the County Board of Supervisors. What do you think a majority Democratic board would be able to do? What policy issues do you think they could move on?
Well, we've already seen that the board has operated significantly differently with Nathan Fletcher on the board. So just imagine what we can do with the Democratic majority. But I see that we can do more on housing. I see that we can do more on mental health. I think those are important areas that we're going to have to look at because a lot of the problems that we have regionally are better served when we have better county participation in the solution to those problems. So the party is looking at basically what are the institutions which have the resources to address the challenges of our time, and the County Board of Supervisors is key to that strategy.
I know SANDAG is also in your sights, the County Transportation Agency. Now, their board of directors is made up of cities, an elected official from every city in the county. What's your strategy to get more Democrats on that board?
Sure. Well, I'm probably the first party chair to talk about a strategy like the SANDAG strategy, which we created in order to sort of make an objective strategy for the County Democratic Party. And really, in order to change those seats, we have to focus on some of the areas that we simply need to do better in. In order to change the makeup of SANDAG, we have to help take back the County Board of Supervisors, but also we have to focus in areas in North County like Vista, San Marcos, where we can flip Democratic majorities and change up the makeup of SANDAG. It also means that we'll have to focus on cities in East County that you might not have expected otherwise, like El Cajon, where they've just moved to district elections, so it's possible for us to pick up seats there. So the SANDAG strategy, since you don't elect anyone to SANDAG, requires us to focus on the basics, which is city councils and local races that the County Democratic Party is going to increase its focus on. And that means that some races like in Vista and San Marcos and El Cajon and even National City, other places across the county are going to get more attention from our party and more resources from our party than they might have if we were just focusing on congressional seats or something.
Last November, the Democrats picked up a San Diego City Council seat in District 2 with the election of Jen Campbell. A lot of the messaging in that campaign centered around Trump, that Lori Zaff, a Republican, was in the same party as Donald Trump. How important really is Donald Trump to a local city council race, and how much is that going to play into your strategy in 2020?
Well, the reality is that we are in a presidential year. We're going to have a very contested Democratic primary, which means turnout will be high. And the districts that we're targeting are districts in which Trump is unfavorable. So sometimes in elections where you don't have much information about the elected official or candidate that you're voting for, it helps to know what their values are. And the reality is that Trump's values are not consistent with the values of San Diegans. And as a result, it is important to note when there are elected officials who are aligned with him. My goal is to make sure that that's not the top thing that we're talking about. It's one of the things we're talking about. But in reality, this Democratic Party is going to be talking about issues, which is why we're going to create the first ever county party platform to show what our values are, what our issues are, and to lead with those values.
Will Rodriguez Kennedy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.